This is the Viltrox 50mm f2, the latest lens to join their Air series of compact lenses. Now before we get started, I do want to make things clear that Viltrox did send me this lens. They did not pay me to make this video, but they did pay me to make a couple Instagram reels for their own marketing purposes. Now I've had this lens for the past couple weeks, and I'll be honest, 50mm is not my favorite focal length. 50mm is kind of that perfect, not so wide, but very true to life focal length that takes photos and is pretty much exactly as your eyes see in terms of the depth of field and the compression that you're going to get from that 50mm focal range. The f2 aperture is wide enough that you're going to be able to get some pretty decent low light performance and bokeh as well. Now for a lens that is only $199 USD, the photos out of this lens are actually incredibly sharp. Much sharper than some of my actual Sony lenses, which actually really surprised me. But as you can tell when I zoom in on this picture, you can see that the details on this image are super sharp, even wide open at f2. Now keep in mind that I am shooting these photos on the Sony a7CR, so I am able to pull a little bit more detail and resolution out of these images compared to someone using a 24 or 33 megapixel sensor. But even wide open at f2, I was surprised by just how much detail I was actually able to get out of this lens, and that really surprised me, especially for a $199 USD lens. And the autofocus is fast and reliable for the most part. I have no complaints. I was shooting street photography and just general architecture, cityscape photography, and I had no complaints at all regarding the autofocus. And to be honest, none of this really surprised me because Viltrox has been putting out a lot of high quality lenses at a very affordable price point recently. Let me just take the lens hood off of this lens and you guys can see just how compact this lens really is. Now keep in mind that this lens is made of plastic, but it's a nice high quality plastic that feels really good and it doesn't feel like you're gonna break it. And it only weighs about 205 grams. And with everything that I've mentioned so far in this video, it's hard not to recommend this lens to any beginner photographer or a photographer who's on a budget. And I also don't think this lens would disappoint any experienced photographers as well. Now because this is a 50mm f2, this lens will probably be added to the list of Nifty-Fifty lenses that are available for the Sony E-mount lineup. Now of course there are plenty of options that are affordable and some that are a little bit less affordable, but I think this might be one of your best options considering the price point. Now the original Sony 50mm 1.8, if you're trying to decide between the 1.8 aperture and the f2 aperture of this lens, it's not a big difference and I think it will hardly be noticeable, so I would not let that be a deciding factor when you're trying to choose between lenses, but I think this lens is the obvious and the easy choice because the original Sony 50mm 1.8, it's quite old, it's over 10 years old at this point, and the autofocus is quite slow and the image quality is not very impressive, and I think the price is still more than this lens. So if you're a beginner photographer and you're looking to buy a prime lens, especially for portraits or street photography, or you just want a good general everyday carry focal length, I think the Viltrox 50mm f2 Air series lens is probably going to be your best option. Now if you guys have any questions about this lens, please let me know in the comments down below. I will be happy to answer all of your questions and get back to you as soon as I possibly can. In the meantime, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe to help support the channel. And I hope I could inspire you guys to get out and take more photos. Go out and shoot.